and Eve in the garden. And keep in mind, the text tells us that Adam was created outside of the garden and placed in the garden. So when God talked to Adam about death, he knew exactly what God was talking about. He had seen it outside the garden.
Where does it say that?
Well, where does it say he was created outside the garden?
Where does it say that he saw death outside the garden?
Okay, God is speaking to him about death. We have to appreciate that he would know exactly what God's talking about.
Because he programmed him with a language. But where did he see death outside the garden? Where does it say that? Where's the Bible say
Okay, I'm making an implicit deduction that if God is speaking to Adam about death, he knows what God is talking about.
Because he had a language.
Okay, the Garden of Eden I see as a local event. I don't see it as global. It's a local garden that God had created, and he had planted the garden. It was a very beautiful garden. It was protected by God. And when Adam and Eve sinned, they were ejected from the garden. Now they're in the real world where there are thorns and thistles, and God basically says, now you got to plant your own garden. You got to do your own weeding. You got to take the thorns out yourself. You got to take care of all that.
Where does it say that?
Huh?
Where does it say that?
Where does it say that he was going to
Well, no, you're the one
his own
making the
garden?
statements. I want to know where it says that.
Well, I mean, he was cast outside of the Garden of
Right.
Eden. You do recognize it says that.
Oh, yeah, but it doesn't
Right.
say now you've got to take out your own thorns. He's, as part of the curse, there's going to be thorns.
Right.
And it never says, Adam, you saw all this death outside the garden, now that's what death means. He had a programmed language. How do you know what not
Well,
meant?
that's your interpretation. Yours is just as implicit as my interpretation. There's nothing in the Bible that supports what you're saying either in an
No, mine
explicit
fits with the
fashion.
fact that the whole of creation groans and that God said everything was very good before sin.
It says the entire creation groans. That would have to encompass the entire physical universe of space and time, which
true.
means it's groaning from the very beginning of the universe.
No,
Not the beginning of sin, but the beginning of the
the
universe.
dominant view, even in today, with today's theologians, is Romans 8 there is connected to the fall.
All right, we got a couple of